Big game tonight, boys. Big game.
Hi, how are you? Good, thanks.
We got.
Wilyer's still going to try to run as well.
Yeah, we'll know more tomorrow. Slower than what we expected. He's been able to hit and play and move around defensively, but he hasn't been able to run. So, are we concerned? Yes and no. You know, he'll be back at one point, but I think it's been longer than expected.
Did he aggravate it, Alex? Or?
No. Talking to him yesterday, he was like, you know, he talked to Masai and Brandon, and they feel like, you know, slow it down the next 3 days to see if Monday is better. So,
any clarity on pitching at the end of the homestand?
we're talking about it. It's TBD the last day. Obviously, understanding Tolly's, you know, workload. We have to be cautious with that. We'll have conversations today about tomorrow too, and what's next rotation wise. So I'll have more tomorrow.
I mean, is maybe piggybacking him and shortening his outing Wednesday on regular rest a possibility, or no?
I think we're leaning towards giving him the extra day, but like I said, we let's see where we at after the game, what we're gonna do tomorrow, and then we'll decide what we do.
Is that one where the roster expansion will potentially be a solution?
The roster is gonna help. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How tricky is that to figure out how you can kind of push him to do things that he hasn't necessarily been doing in the like in this very brief minor league time?
Yeah, but I mean, this is where we at, and we're in the business of winning games, and we know where we at in August 31st, right? And you know, we put ourselves in a position to play meaningful games in September, and hopefully in October. So I think, you know, everybody in that room expect him to be a big part of what we're trying to accomplish, and I do believe he will be.
After the game last night, news came out that Chapman's in the extended.
Yeah, hopefully we have more about that, of course, but you know, I think the guy has been great for us, not only on the field. What he's done on the field is amazing, but as you guys see, you know, in the clubhouse, the way he prepares, he's been great, you know, and you know, hopefully we get more news in the upcoming hours or day.
Alex, when you got to spring training with him, you know, this wasn't obviously what you expected. What do you think he did to put himself in this position?
There's a few things. First things first, you know, his dad is a huge Red Sox fan. He is, you know, that's the first thing he told me. So, you know, cool. You know, he's playing for the team that his dad loves, you know. Second, I do believe the message, although probably the messaging has been the same in every organization he plays, you know, like work ahead, stay ahead. But they were on it from the get-go. And there was a day that, you know, like I said, that game, I think he walked 2 or 3, and something clicked as far as like command. You know, after the game, he talked to Jason and the group that's the first time a catcher has called a fastball in. You know, usually it was fastball and he just throws it, you know, rather in the middle and let it play. And there was intent behind that pitch. It's like, oh, okay, fastball in. And I don't know if he got it in, but, you know, it was in the zone. And he kept pounding the zone in that outing, and he's been doing that since that game. You know, I think he talked about he's been able to stay fresh throughout the season. There's only one time that we used in 3 days in a row. And one day we got him for 4 outs, right, in Philly. So he's been happy with everything. I think Bales and Holty and Tech have done an amazing job with him, communication-wise. And, you know, the split and the slider have come into play. You know, he's thrown it for a strike, and then he's able to expand with that. He did a few things in the offseason, too. You know, lost weight, you know, and not because he was fat, you know, it's because he wanted to be more agile and flexible, and he was able to accomplish that. And the fact that he can repeat his delivery over and over and over and over again has helped him. We've seen him in the past that, you know, there's stretches that he has struggled. He struggled against us throwing strikes, but we haven't seen that, you know, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
Do you think it's that he's trying to throw his fastball to a particular spot and not just letting it eat in the strike zone? Like, it's been,
That was a conversation in
Yeah.
spring training, you know, like he told Tech, he's like, man, that's the first time that somebody has called a pitch and, you know, where to throw it, you know? And like I said, I don't know if he got it there, but at least up here, kind of like, okay, you know, that's where I'm going. And, you know, all these guys have missed patterns, you know, you can put the target in, but the fastball is gonna go somewhere else, and he's gonna play in that spot. There's studies and, you know, our catchers, they put their target in certain areas, knowing that the pitch is gonna go somewhere else. But, you know, if that was it, man, kudos to Connor, you know, or whoever, you know. So we're just happy to have him, and the fact that we know we got him late in games is a luxury.
the Pirates guys were saying when they got Santana, Aroldis kind of put his arm around him and,
Yes.
you know, have you seen that with some of your guys too?
He's done it with, you know, with a lot of people here. I think he's very quiet. You see him in the clubhouse, but he knows the game. He's been through a lot, and you know, I know in that bullpen, his voice it means something. We had a meeting It was in New York, the first time we went there, a few things that he thought we needed to add to the program to help guys prepare. He's always prepared, but he felt like, okay, we should do this, we should do that, videos and meetings, and we listened, you know, and we added a few things too. He's been great. He's been, you know, think about the guys that have impacted the team. We always talk about Alex, right, and Trevor. But quietly and in his own way, he's one of the leaders of this team.
How nice is that an example of a guy coming here, giving his input, and your organization doing it, and coming together to show other players when they come here, we can make you into what you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. It's very important. We forget about Wilson. You know, Willow. He was the first guy we signed, right? And people were like, "Oh, here we go again," right? Like nobody knew much about him, and he's been great. And he's another guy that, in his own way, has led that group. He posts, you know, he shares information from what's on the field or what happens off the field in the clubhouse. You know, just another professional player that, you know, loves playing here.
On the subject of the bullpen, do you have to continue to ease Slayton in some low leverage spots before you put him in a big spot, or is he ready to, you know, handle an eighth inning?
No, I think especially how we're structured now, we need him. So, you know, I expect him to use him, you know, whenever we feel we need him.
In-season extensions are rare in baseball, and Breslow has been able to do a lot even with you over the past 2 years. Why do you think he's so good at it?
We're soft. Communication, you know, and the willingness to continue to improve. I think that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Just like all the extensions you guys have signed the last 2 years, just how much do you like the continuity that it's kind of bringing to the organization right now?
I think that's something we needed. You know, it's been a revolving door since 21. You know, like if you look around, you know, Witt and Tanner are the only ones left, right, from 21. Ramon and I, and the clubbies, and the trainers. But as far as like players, it's been a revolving door. It's hard to create a culture, you know, when you have so many moving parts and guys that come here, impact, and they leave, right? So, you know, to have familiar faces when you go to Fort Myers, it means a lot. And obviously, we're in the middle of a youth movement that we know those guys are going to be here for a long period of time, but surrounding with guys that been there, done that is very important.
Particularly when you get Abreu back, do you have to start thinking about maybe cycling through some other guys in the DH spot because of not getting a whole lot out of Massa right now?
Yeah, actually, I think Massa, the last 2 games have been solid. You know, it seems like he's seen the ball a lot better. He's been able to stay on pitches going the other way. and hopefully that's the beginning of something good. But we get there when we get there. We probably have to protect Willie too, from running around. We were joking with Roman. He's been playing too much outfield, at 21. We have to slow him down, but that's a luxury. It's not a problem, having a left-handed bat off the bench or late in games. If we have to hit for a righty, if Massa is the guy that night, it's a good one. If it's somebody else, it'll be a good at bat.
Alex, en las últimas presentaciones de Brian Abreu se ha notado mucho diferente y mucho mejor. ¿Qué tú has visto diferente de Abreu?
Yo creo que la intención de los picheos es bien diferente. Está más cerca de la zona de strike con algunos de sus picheos. Está arriba en el conteo la mayoría del tiempo y no está dejando que las situaciones le aceleren el juego. Sean errores como los otros días en Baltimore cuando la bola picó entre Sedán y Jaren. En la loma no hubo reacción y eso es algo que en el pasado no sucedía. Ahora él entiende que los errores son parte del juego, que hay veces que le van a dar duro, ¿verdad? Y tiene que hacer sus ajustes, pero yo creo que la persona, el individuo, es mucho más maduro de lo que vimos el año pasado. Yo creo que cambió luego de el jonrón que le dieron en Chicago contra los White Sox cuando tiró el guante, ¿te acuerdas?
Sí.
Creo que de esa aprendió. Yo creo que cuando tú te ves en un video haciendo esas cosas, como que dices, o sea, eso no es lo que se supone que yo haga. Y algo cambió ahí. También le doy crédito a su esposa y a los hijos. Es algo que ha cambiado su vida. Brian no podía tirar en los juegos de día. Bueno, tenía que tirarlo, pero no era bueno, ¿verdad? En cuestión de números. Y ahora pues se tiene que levantar temprano y ser papá, y yo creo que eso le ha ayudado en el terreno de juego también.
After such a fabulous start from Lucas in Baltimore, when you think about what he can do the next 5 days, his next start, what's your feelings as a manager for him having that same level of proficiency, or how do you go into it when you think about it?
Yeah, I believe that, every 5 days, we know we're going to have a guy that, first of all, he's going to compete, and he's going to give us 6 or 7 innings. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I truly believe he's been able to make adjustments during the outings that are helping him to get over the hump. The fastball command has been good. The other pitches has been great. Today is a different lineup, a lot of righties in the lineup for them. Let's see how that works out. But just like Bello, just like Crochet, when they go out, you expect them to go 6 and help us win a game.
Has his durability and ability to supply innings exceeded expectations given that he was coming off of injury?
Not really. We've been through that before, right? Eduardo, for example, Eduardo didn't pitch in 20, right? And the next year he was able to do that. He worked hard last year. I think the hammy put him in a bad spot in spring training, and then he found his rhythm, and from there he took off. And he's been great as far as like diligent with his work in the training room. As you know, we push those guys to go there. There's certain organizations that they're like, no, like old school style. Don't go to the training room, or if I see you in the training room, it's a red flag. With us, it's the other way around. We're good. Thank you.
Thank you.